In this lecture, we examine how farmers make optimal production decisions using economic logic. We begin by introducing the production function and the concept of marginal analysis. Then we illustrate the law of diminishing marginal returns and three stages of production. We determine the profit maximizing output level using marginal revenue and marginal cost. Next, we apply the equal marginal principle to allocate limited resources efficiently. We also analyze input substitution to find the least cost combination of inputs. Finally, we identify profit maximizing combinations of competitive, supplementary, and complementary enterprises. The production function describes the relationship between inputs and outputs. Total physical product is the total quantity of output produced at a given input level. Average physical product measures output per unit of input. Marginal physical product shows the additional output produced by adding one more unit of input. Together, these measures help us understand how efficiently inputs are being transformed into output. The term marginal refers to incremental change. Marginal analysis compares the new value created by a small change to the original situation. Marginal physical product can be positive, zero, when total output is at its maximum, or negative when adding more input actually reduce output. This marginal perspective is central to all economic decision making. Marginal analysis focuses on evaluating changes at the margin rather than averages. Instead of asking how profitable the entire operation is, we ask whether adding one more unit improves or reduces profit. This approach allows managers to make precise decisions about expansion, reduction, or reallocation of resources. The law of diminishing marginal returns states that as additional units of a variable input are added to a fixed input, marginal physical product will eventually decline. This law is driven by biological or physical constraints. Crops and animals cannot respond indefinitely to added fertilizer, feed, or labor. At some point, congestion and inefficiency set in. The production process can be divided into three stages. In stage 1, average physical product is increasing, indicating that input use is too low for efficient production. In stage 2, average physical product is declining, but marginal physical product remains positive. This is the rational stage of production. In stage 3, marginal physical product becomes negative and total output falls, making continued input use irrational. While stage 2 defines the rational range of production, it does not identify the exact profit maximizing point. To find that point, we must incorporate price information. The manager's goal is to maximize profit, not simply maximize yield or output. Marginal revenue is the additional revenue generated by producing one more unit of output. Marginal cost is the additional cost incurred to produce the extra unit. As marginal physical product declines due to the diminishing returns, marginal cost rises because more input is required to produce the same output. This inverse relationship is critical for decision making. The fundamental profit maximization rule is simple. Profit is maximized where marginal revenue equals marginal cost. If production occurs in discrete units and exact equality is not possible, the producer should expand output up to the last unit where marginal revenue exceeds marginal cost. Production decisions can also be analyzed from the input side. Instead of Comparing output, revenue, and cost, we compare the value of additional input used with its cost. Profit is maximized where the marginal value product equals the marginal input cost. This approach leads to the same optional decision as the marginal revenue equals the marginal cost rule. Marginal input cost is the cost of purchasing one more unit of input. Marginal value product is the additional revenue generated by using more units of that input. When marginal value product exceeds marginal input cost, increasing input use raises profit. When marginal value product is less than marginal input cost, profits fall. The equal marginal principle applies when a resource is limited. A scarce input should be allocated across alternative uses so that the marginal value product of the last unit is equal in each use. Any other allocation would shift resources from higher return uses to lower return uses, reducing total profit. Most products can be produced using different combinations of inputs. The manager's objective is to find the least cost combination that produce a given level of output. Sequence represents all combinations of two inputs that yield the same output level. Inputs may substitute for each other in different ways. When substitution occurs at a constant rate, inputs are perfect substitutes and the sequence is a straight line. When substitution occurs at a decreasing rate, inputs are imperfect substitutes and the sequence is curved. When no substitution is possible, inputs must be used in fixed proportions, creating an L-shaped sequence. To find the least cost input combination, managers compare the physical rate of substitution with the market price ratio. The optimal combination occurs where the input substitution ratio equals the input price ratio. At this point, it is impossible to reduce costs without changing output. Just as managers choose among inputs, they must also choose among outputs. The production possibility curve shows all feasible combinations of two products that can be produced using a fixed set of resources. Enterprises are competitive when they require the same limited resource at the same time. Producing more of one product requires producing less of the other. The output substitution ratio measures the physical trade-off between two products. Profit is maximized when the physical trade-off between products equals the profit trade-off. In other words, the output substitution ratio must equal the output profit ratio. This ensures resources are allocated to their highest value use. Enterprises are supplementary when production of one can increase without reducing the other. In some cases, increasing one enterprise actually increases output of the other. Managers should expand supplementary enterprises until they become competitive. Complementary enterprises reinforce each other. The correct strategy is to expand the complementary enterprise until the primary enterprise reaches its maximum production. Ultimately, the optimal mix is usually found in the competitive range, not the purely supplementary or complementary range. To summarize, economic decision-making in agriculture relies on marginal analysis rather than averages. The law of diminishing marginal returns explains why only stage 2 of production is rational. Profit is maximized where marginal revenue equals marginal cost or where marginal value product equals marginal input cost. The equal marginal principle guides the allocation of scarce resources. Efficient production requires choosing the least cost input combination and the optimal mix of enterprises to maximize total profit.